And it's good for the environment, saving energy used in transporting products from far away. And now, for the first time in the company's 23-year history, New Frontiers is pleased to offer your favorite beer and wine, all from local vintners and brewers. You'll find it right next to the artisan cheese and the gourmet olive bar. Enjoy the fruit and the grain of this beautiful Central Coast, offered to you with love from New Frontiers. They're all about your quality of life.
You found your source for local news, traffic, and weather. The Information Station, AM 1440 and FM 106.3 KUHL.
Good morning, 7:32. Information now. We'll check more local news on the way, but right now, time to talk food with our favorite grocery gal, Amy Goldsmith. Amy's helped to launch and grow some of the most well-known brands that many of us eat or at least see on the grocery shelves. She's a food industry insider and lives her life as a food finder, looking for the best new products and trends. You can follow Amy and direct message her any questions through Facebook and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. Amy, welcome back to the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ben.
So we had a few listeners calling in with questions, and let's go through them. We've got a couple things. You all set?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Well, the first one, a caller was in Trader Joe's and said they saw Trader Joe's veggie cookies, and they wanted to know what this is exactly. I mean, are there vegetables in the cookies, or what are these exactly?
You know, I don't know specifically, but my guess is, knowing Trader Joe's, it's probably just vegan. Trader Joe's has a lot of vegan products. So when I say vegan, there's no animal ingredients. There's no dairy, there's no animal protein or animal fat. It's all plant, fruit, or vegetable based. And even the chocolate chips won't have any dairy in it. By the way, dark chocolate is vegan versus milk chocolate, if you think about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my guess is that it's probably just a vegan cookie. But my other thought is they also could be products, like you said, with maybe a vegetable powder in it. There are many products that contain fruits and vegetables hidden in the sauce or in the breading or in the cookie to increase a person's intake of vegetables. I mean, mostly this is for children, but also adults who don't get enough vegetable consumption may also, eat things like this as well. There's a line of frozen products called Kid Fresh that has like chicken fingers and mac and cheese and pizza, all with hidden veggies. But again, my guess is that what those callers saw at Trader Joe's is probably just vegan.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too. And anyway, you mentioned Kid Fresh items. So I don't know if you have any experience with those and if they taste good, Amy.
They do. Actually, I've had this brand at trade shows, and you can find them in the frozen section of many grocery stores. Kid Fresh actually has a pasta that has like cauliflower cheddar sauce that is out of this world. It's delicious. And you really actually cannot taste the veggies. But these products, keep in mind, are not vegan. They just have hidden vegetables in them, which actually is a bit controversial because you're hiding ingredients and possibly not disclosing what's in there to the person eating it. So many registered dietitians would say kids should actually get to know and get comfortable with vegetables and the texture, even if it's to dip a ton of ranch into it, dip the vegetables into ranch dressing, but they need to get to know vegetables and you shouldn't be hiding it.
Yeah, that's what I do sometimes is dip it in ranch. And I guess the other thing is probably just, as you tell us, read the labels so you know what's in there. But I'm not sure if it's vegetable powder, if they actually put that on the label or not.
But they would put that on the label. They absolutely have to put it on the label. But they're just saying, a 4-year-old who may hate broccoli and then is eating, a chicken nugget that has broccoli hidden in it. The controversy is, they're not getting to know the texture of broccoli or trying to learn how to eat it. It's just being hidden and given it to them.
All right, got it. So, Amy, we had another caller ask about fish, and this is actually pretty interesting because we know a lot of people talk about the health benefits of eating fish. So what's the best way to buy fish, and maybe what's the best fish for you?
I love fish. I could probably be a pescatarian. A pescatarian is someone who only eats fish as protein, no meat or chicken, but my family would probably be totally annoyed with me.
Yeah.
According to experts, we're supposed to be eating fish twice a week. Fish are lean. It's a healthy source of protein. And the oily fish, such as salmon, tuna, and sardines, have those heart and brain-healthy omega-3 fats that we should be getting into our diet. But we really also have to be careful of mercury in fish. And mercury poisoning may affect the nervous system, leading to neurological problems. So we just have to be careful, like you said, what the best fish meat.
All right. So what is the best fish to eat? Now, what about tuna? So maybe people do like tuna fish sandwiches or something like that.
Yes, so that's a great place to start. Albacore tuna. You want albacore tuna. It can be high in mercury, but albacore tends to have less mercury. And if you can find out, you ideally want troll or polecat. That's from the U.S. or British Columbia. And the reason is smaller, younger fish typically caught this way out of troll or pole have a lower mercury and contaminant rating. And those caught in the colder northern waters even have a higher omega-3 count. But you want to stay away from bluefin tuna. Stay away from bluefin tuna. It's endangered, and it has high levels of mercury and contaminants. But really, we see on the menus everywhere salmon. Salmon is an amazing source of omega, but it needs to be wild-caught Alaskan salmon. When you go to the market and you're looking at all the different kinds of salmon options, look for the wild-caught Alaskan. And it's really interesting because Alaska salmon is important because the salmon fishery, they have biologists posted at the mouths of the river to count how many wild fish actually return to spawn. And if the numbers begin to dwindle, the fishery is closed before it reaches its limit. So it's incredibly sustainable, incredibly good for the environment, and it's great for the fish. So the wild-caught salmon are healthier and more sustainable than just about any other that's at a salmon fishery. And you don't want farmed salmon. You don't want farmed salmon because many of the farms use crowded pens, and the salmon can get infections and with parasites, and then they may be treated with antibiotics. And so you just don't want salmon from a farm. Alaska, in fact, has banned salmon farms. And it can take as much as 3 pounds of a wild fish to raise 1 pound of farmed salmon.
Wow.
So again, you want wild-caught Alaskan salmon, not farmed salmon. And the only approved farmed salmon is one called coho. And I don't think it's all that popular around here, but coho are raised in closed freshwater pens, and they require less feed. But overall, you just want Alaskan wild-caught salmon.
Okay.
You also want You also want farmed rainbow trout. Farmed rainbow trout is good, and you want Pacific wild-caught sardines. Pacific wild-caught sardines.
All right, some good information there. We have Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith here. 7:39 is the time. So what about oysters? Now, I'm not a big fish fan like you are, but I love especially oysters Rockefeller. So what about oysters? Are they good for you?
Yes. Well, oysters Rockefeller are delicious,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're cut, right? So that's great. Although there's cheese and other things in it too. But
Right.
Farmed, if you're going to eat oysters, you want farmed oysters. And actually, believe it or not, oysters are really good for you. They have about 300 milligrams of omega-3s and about a third of the recommended daily values of iron. But really, better yet, they're really good for the environment. Oysters feed off the natural nutrients and algae in the water, which improves water quality. And they can also act as natural reefs, and it attracts and provides food for other fish. But again, you have to be careful because you're eating raw shellfish, especially for those from warm waters. The oysters may contain bacteria that can cause illnesses, but overall, it's good for you.
Right. So I know a lot of people love shrimp. So is there any benefits to eating shrimp there, Amy?
So shrimp is naturally high in cholesterol. So if you're someone who needs to watch cholesterol, shrimp may not be the option for you. Ask your doctor, or, a retail or registered dietitian. But overall, shrimp is actually good for you, minus the cholesterol. But the problem with shrimp is that most of it is imported, and it often comes from areas with significant contaminants. So shrimp can be toxic, to be honest. And even domestic shrimp, I know there's Santa Barbara shrimp, but it may be polluted with oil from oil spills. So the best bet is to try and find shrimp from the Pacific North, and that tends to be the cleanest fish around. You also want to stay away from Chilean sea bass and grouper. Those have incredibly high mercury amounts.
Okay, some things to watch out there. Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith here. The time 7:41 on KUHL. So when you're buying fish, is there anything to look for? I mean, if you're out kind of shopping around.
Yeah, so ideally you want to get fish that has been delivered that day or the day before at the latest. So you want to ask the fishmonger, which is basically the butcher. They're known as fishmongers. What was delivered that day or the day before? And you want to smell your fish before buying it. Fish and shellfish should hint of the sea. They should not smell like fish. or worse, ammonia.
Oh.
They just need to have like that sort of hint of the sea, the beach. And whole fish should have taut, sort of shiny skin with bright and clear eyes and red or pink gills. And telltale signs of fish past their prime are sunken, cloudy eyes and brown gills. So you want, shiny skin and bright, clear eyes. Also, large pieces in fillets that should be shiny and glistening. Avoid those that are pale and dull, or the kind that sometimes you can see gaps between the layers of the muscle. You want to avoid that. You want shiny and glistening. And the best shellfish should be free of any spots, discoloration, or slime. The shells of, let's say, lobsters and mussels and clams should not be dented or cracked. And scallops should be off-white to a light pink or orange color. So that's really what you need to look for.
Got it. Do they put the date, like the date they recommend the fish be sold by, like for other products, is that actually on the package of fish when you buy it or no?
If you're buying it in the case, already packaged, it should have a Best Buy or Best Eat By date, sell by date. If you're buying it from the butcher, it won't.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so people just need to kind of watch out for that. But that's very interesting. So there's health benefits. So I guess this could be if you wanted to do like maybe, I know John Spencer talks about fish tacos, or maybe put some fish in your salad. There's many different ways of doing this, I guess.
Absolutely. Starting with tuna, you can buy tuna and albacore, of course, and, put it on your salad, make tuna sandwiches. You can salmon. It's really easy to broil or barbecue with a little bit of seasoning or lemon. There's so many fish recipes, and it's really quick and easy to make. That's one of the reasons why I love it, in addition to the taste. It doesn't take all that long, and the preparation for it's pretty easy. So you can always Google a recipe and just try it. Try different kinds. Get a little adventurous. It's really good for you. And my kids eat it. They like tilapia. We dip it in. It's a white fish. We dip it in panko.
Yeah.
Panko and throw it in the oven, and they love it. And it's good for you.
All right. So I told you that I'm not a big fish fan, but you are. But for some reason, I like oysters, Rockefeller, and I love coconut shrimp. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But okay. So I love you more than anything. You know this. But you're taking really good fish, and you're making it kind of not healthy.
Oh, okay. Darn it. All right.
So I would say you're the perfect candidate for tilapia. Start with tilapia. It's really basic. It has like zero flavor, to be honest.
Yeah.
And just dip it in panko, or, breadcrumbs, and throw it in the oven for 14 minutes, and it'll get crunchy on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll like it.
All right. Well, I'll have to maybe take you up on that recommendation here. But Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith joining us today. You can follow Amy in direct message or any questions through Facebook, and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. And again, thanks for all of your questions out there. We'll probably get into another interesting topic here the next time we speak. Amy, always good speaking with you.
Thanks, Ben. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Amy Goldsmith there. Don't forget birthdays and anniversary wishes. 928-1440 is my number.
Please join Santa Ynez Valley Cottage Hospital for a free drive-through flu vaccine clinic on Saturday, October 3rd at the Santa Ynez Valley Marriott Hotel in Buellton. Free flu vaccines will be administered to adults 18 years or older from the safety and comfort of your car. COVID-19 safety precautions will be in place. Masks are required to receive a vaccine. Vaccines are limited. Register for a specific time slot in advance at cottagehealth.org/syflu.
Assemblyman Jordan Cunningham is providing strong, independent leadership for the Central Coast. He's fighting